Oi, Taylor. Olá!
Hello.
Hello, darling.
How are
How
you?
are you?
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the invitation.
It is a big pleasure. Yes, it is a big pleasure. Yeah, I've been meaning to do this. I was telling my people that I haven't been doing live broadcasts because my cell phone was crappy. And so I bought a new cell phone that doesn't burn itself up when it's broadcasting live. So that's what happened.
I
That's what
know.
happened.
I know the feeling. Like I just bought some new equipment too, so now I have new lights, and I feel like even more inspired to not only to go live but record more videos. I've been struggling
Yeah.
to record videos because of lighting, like not having the right equipment is so challenging. But I'm really happy that all my equipment is ready now for new lives and recording. So that's why I've been actually turning down a lot of invitations for live lately. One, because of the equipment. Second is I have a terrible connection. Like my Wi-Fi doesn't work properly. We don't have fiber here in this region, in this area. So it's very complicated sometimes to even upload videos. Like when I record new videos for YouTube or for even my stories, I have to record, and like every 4 stories takes like 30 minutes, almost 30 minutes to upload. So it's really annoying and it takes a lot of patience. But now I'm ready, and thank you so
Yes,
much.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm
Where
so glad
exactly
to
are
be
you
here.
now?
Sorry,
Where exactly are you now?
in where I'm currently living. I'm
Yes,
based
in the world.
in London. In London, we're living in a flat in this area is called Southwark. Southwark. Actually, the spelling has nothing to do with the pronunciation, as you're also an expert on pronunciation, so you know what I'm saying. Like here in England, the names are completely different. Like you can never guess how they're pronounced. It's very like unpredictable. So this place here is called Southwark, but it's written Southwark, but the pronunciation is Southwark. Southwark. So we're currently living in Southwark. It's a borough. It's a borough. More specifically, this is South Bermondsey,
Okay, what
like
is a
the
borough?
neighborhood.
What is a borough? Explain to people what a borough is.
Well, it's hard to explain, even for native speakers, like even citizens here, they don't know how to explain what a borough is, but it's like a district, and a borough has more autonomy when it comes to decisions, when it comes to like the community. So it's basically a district. We don't have anything similar in Brazil, but it's a district. It's just an area. So we have like neighborhoods. We don't have like neighborhoods like we have in Brazil, but it's like a neighborhood. So they call it area. It's weird. So you have like an area and some boroughs. Boroughs are bigger than areas, than these neighborhoods. And then we have towns and cities. A city here in England, most of the cities, like I guess 99% of the cities, have a cathedral, and they were kind of like chosen by the royals, by the queen, and by this is like something from the past. I know that this is not the best definition for cities, but here in England, this is what history tells us. Like all the cities, they were chosen by the queen and the king in the past, and they were given a cathedral, and that's in autonomy too. So they have like a parish with a bishop. So that's what a city is here in the UK. And then we have like towns, and towns don't necessarily have cathedrals. They have small churches. Like actually, there's one town with a cathedral, which is an exception. It's Brighton. Brighton
Mm.
has a cathedral, and yeah, and it's considered, it's no, Brighton doesn't have a cathedral, sorry, but it's a city. It didn't get a cathedral, but it's a city. It's complicated.
Yeah, yeah. It truly is. So, I'd like to start off by thank you so much for being here with us today. I know you've been very busy and you've been turning down invitations to do lives, and thank you so much for this. And I would like to know, and people would like to know too, I guess, where does Rennie come from? What's her background? I know that you had a school and you had burnout. You know, I just read it. Yeah. It's a very common story for entrepreneurs, you know. So where does Rennie come from? What's the story with Rennie? What's up with you, girl?
That's hilarious because it's like so now I know a lot about you. I know you had burnout syndrome. It's like it's like everybody knows.
I don't know the basics. I don't know the basics. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the first one to share everything. I don't hide anything. So
Yeah, cool.
that reminds me of my mom. Mom used to say like, come on, my daughter, don't share like all the details with everyone. It's a lot of exposure, you know? And I was like, mom, like, I don't care. Like, this is me. This is my personality, you know? I tend to tell everyone what's going on in my life. So I don't hide. I don't hide anything, you know. Well, not anything, like there might be some things I hide, but I tend to share. I still have some secrets, but I won't share them with anyone. But anyway, so I come from Rio, and I'm a carioca, and I've been a teacher for 15 years now. It's been a long journey because I started when I was so young. I'm still young, by the way. I'm just more experienced now. I'm more experienced now. But I joined college at the age of 17, and I guess that contributed a lot with my journey. You know, so at the age of 18, I got a fellowship at the university, and I started doing some research with some professors, and also that was my first contact with teaching. You know, I started teaching at the university to carry out some research, and then a few years later I joined a school. Like I was hired by a big school. No, I was 19 when I can't say any names here. I can't promote I can promote schools for free.
Yes.
So yeah, so I've been an English teacher for 15 years now, but I think that recently I've realized that this is not only my passion, but also my mission. So I've embraced, and I see it as my purpose. Now I know what my purpose is, and I'm really, really happy to know that I've been given the opportunity to do it online, you know. So I'm not self-conscious, to be honest. Like I guess that's something positive, you know. The fact that I'm not self-conscious helps me a lot, because then I'm not scared. I'm not afraid of sharing things, of what people will think or what people will say about me. So I think it's very positive for my career, you know. And right now I'm happy to be able to share knowledge online, you know, and that's it. Like, that's my story.
Yes, yeah, that's fantastic. So lots of people are here say, Rennie, I love you. Rennie, you were excellent. Rennie, you were great. Yeah, so thank you everybody for being here. And if you don't know me, I am Adir Ferreira. I'm also a teacher. I've been a teacher for a little bit more than 15 years. Don't do the math. Please don't do the math. Yeah. And okay, so what's up with the story of the burnout thing? What happened? You know, I already like half an hour ago was like, yeah, that happens a lot to people. You know, they're overworked, they're overwhelmed. You know, with business, with personal life and stuff, with money. That's a big issue too. We all know that. So what happened?
I guess I've always struggled to say no to people and things. Like I've always been, because I can't do things half-heartedly. I'm very intense. I'm all or nothing. So I tend to just, you know, grab every chance that I have, and that can be overwhelming sometimes, you know. I should have said a lot of no's in the past, but I simply couldn't. So I was always the first to say, yeah, why not, you know. So I didn't realize that I was overworking. I was constantly doing everything I could to help everyone around me, but I don't know why I didn't prioritize myself. Like I couldn't see me in the picture. It was like I didn't exist. So I don't know what happened, seriously. Now looking back, I just think that I was just being better,
Oh,
and
we
I'm
got.
more mature. I'm more mature. Now I know my limitations, and I know that sometimes saying no is necessary for your mental health, and mental health comes first. So this is what I do right now. Like I try to find a balance. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. It's a real challenge, but it's a daily battle. But you know, I guess everyone is in the same boat. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. As teachers, we are used to saying yes to everything, you know, because we want to be accepted, we want to be recognized. You know, hey, is a hard worker, you know, our craft is so undervalued and undermined, has been for some time, that we feel like, oh my God, we need to do this to get more credit, more social credit with people. And then we get screwed. Pardon my French, people, but we get screwed because we just do lots of things, and it's long hours, it's lots of paperwork, you know, and there's the personal relation things, you know, with you were dealing with people. That's very, very hard. Yeah, we're on the same page. Okay, so on a more linguistic note, I'd like to ask you something. How long have you been in England?
The first time I came here was in 2018, and then it was like back and forth. So I went to
Okay.
Brazil, and then Simon went there to see me, and then I came back in 2019 for a month and a half, and then I went back to Brazil to pack my stuff, and actually I made my decision to come for good. So I went back to Brazil, and then I came back more permanently in July last year. And then in November, Simon proposed, and then I went back to Brazil to apply for my fiance visa, because that I had to go back to Brazil. That was mandatory. I couldn't
Okay.
have done it from here. So as soon as I got my passport, I went back in March, and then this pandemic happened, and we've been quarantined since then. So I guess like since last year, since July last year, I've been here more permanently. Yeah.
Okay, so linguistically speaking, what are some of the coolest things that you've learned from England? You know, I can see that you have an American accent, you know, but I'm pretty sure that some aspects of the British language, of the British accent and British culture have already been sunk into your way of speaking, or also into your intonation and everything. So, what changed?
Um, that's a very, very good question. I've noticed that something that I love about the British pronunciation is that whatever they say, they sound very elegant. And it's like not all accents, like some accents, you know. Some accents, yeah, some accents I'm not a huge fan, to be honest. But you know, I think that the vowels are shorter and the intonation is different. I guess in American English you tend to prolong, like to elongate things, like to like not only the vowels but also the intonation, like going up and down, like in the like stressing things, you know, like you say, you know, like I don't know why, but you know,
Yeah.
they don't do it in British English. So I don't know what's different about my English, to be honest. I don't know. But I believe a lot of things are changing, and that's inevitable. And I kind of like the idea of having a unique accent, you know? So, so yeah, I love accents, to be honest. I don't know why people are so obsessed with reaching one accent from one region. You know, if you can speak your own in your own way, in a very unique way, and yeah, I love that. I love
Yeah, I was gonna
comparing.
ask. Yeah, I was gonna ask you that actually, because the people say, "Hey, I want to speak like a native speaker," and I ask them, "Why? Why do you want to speak like a native speaker? You know, you were born in a country. My R's are different than yours. I say Porta, I say Adir, all right, and then we are in the same country. So why would you want your accent to be like native like? What's the purpose? To be accepted, or what's the purpose with communication? All right, pronunciation is one thing, right?
Yeah.
But an accent, we all have accents, you know, and that's our history, you know, that's our imprint. And I love my accent even in Portuguese, in English, in Spanish, in French. I just don't care, you know. So what do you think about the promises? Okay, you're gonna speak English like a native speaker. What happens with that? What's your take on that?
Well, I believe that native speaker is such a vague phrase. When you say native speaker, like, who are you talking about? Someone from what area? Be specific. Like, I don't know what, I can't understand when people say like native speaker. It's not just one group or one person. There are different countries, like different English speaking countries, and different accents and different word choice, you know. And also word choice varies according to age, gender, and so many other factors, you know. So I don't know why people are so obsessed with native speaker thing, you know. Okay, if you want to choose, like maybe you live in New York and you want to speak like a New Yorker, and then you study that and you practice that, good.
Yeah.
Okay, you can do that. It's up to you. It's your choice, your life, your choices. But when you say like, I want to speak like a native speaker, I don't know who you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like you said, like we come from the same country, therefore we we know we know that in Brazil it happens, like there are different regions, different accents, right? So we know that's reality for Brazil, and that's reality for all countries in the world. So wherever you go, you find different ways to speak, right? So like, for example, if I say verb, you will correct me and say like, Rennie, you have bad pronunciation. I don't like your pronunciation. It doesn't sound like a native. It does sound like a native, because if you go to Scotland, that's
Exactly.
exactly how
Yeah.
Scottish people speak. They say
Yeah.
verb, verb, verb,
Yeah.
not verb. So there is no better or worse, and there is no good or bad. It's your choice. It's your taste. Like, what do you like? If you want to sound like an American, good. Okay, it's up to you. Like, who am I to tell you that you shouldn't sound like an American? It's your life. You do whatever you want with your life. But we have to be very careful with the phrase native speaker, and also with perfection, right? Because
Yeah.
what is perfect? So if I say verb, you say, Rain is a Brazilian. She sounds like a Brazilian. She
Yeah.
just said verb. And that's terrible pronunciation because she is Brazilian. So that is proof of ignorance, You're saying that because you've never been to different countries, you've never talked to people from different regions. So that's why you think that verb is a bad pronunciation, is bad pronunciation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So people are most people I've talked to in my life are narrow-minded. So it's a long process. I know. I've been there. I'm not judging. I've been narrow-minded too, but I'm improving. I'm fully aware of that, and I want to change. I don't want to be narrow-minded. I want to accept people and different traditions, different customs, different whatever. I want to respect people more and more, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? It's linguistic prejudice. It's just prejudice. Yeah, with everything. For example, with the actress Sofia Vergara, right? She's Colombian, and she says, "Yeah, but I need to do." Okay, so that's all right, and she doesn't give a crap because she's an actress. Like. Why would you change? I heard a story once that Carmen Miranda spoke perfect English, perfect, but then she had to pretend to have an accent to be accepted in Hollywood as a Brazilian accent. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe in that. I'm not surprised. And that's because it's so charming. It's so different, Like when you hear different accent, it's so cool. Like people don't understand how cool, they can't see it. How cool it is. It's amazing to have an accent, You sound sexy, you sound unique, you sound charming. Like people will notice you, people will look
Yeah.
at you. Like here
Yeah.
in the UK, whenever I say something, like I open my mouth, everyone turns around and looks at me. And I used to think that that was something negative. When I first came here, it was like, why is everybody looking at me? Like, did I say anything wrong? Did I make any mistakes? Did I murder the grammar? And then now I feel it. I know that they're looking at me because they find it cool. And they want to know where I'm from. And they're like, where is your accent from?
And it says
Where are you
yes,
from?
yes, yeah, yes. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so tell us a story. I got a friend who lives in California. She's been in California for over 20 years. And she has a company with her husband that makes little wooden plates with the messages like the Rooster family welcomes you to their house or something like that. They carve wood, right? So
Customized.
yeah, it's customized. So in like Disney World and fairs and everything. So there comes a lady who was a psychic. Okay, she claimed to be a psychic, and she says, "Well, you have an accent, Anna. Where are you from?" And I said, "Well, you are a psychic. Guess where I'm from." So she couldn't guess where she was from. All right. So you were a psychic. Where? Yeah. So see, you make yourself more interesting, and then we speak English with our Brazilian soul, and that's what makes it more interesting, I guess, because you and I, we are lively people. We like to be energetic and to express ourselves more energetically. So people are like, "Oh my God, where's this person from?" Yeah. So they were asking me where I'm from. I'm from a city called Bebedouro, which is
Water fountain.
yes, yeah, water fountain is very famous. Now it's very famous. So, and today it is the anniversary of the city.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. So it's a holiday here. Not for me. I've been working like a dog for this past couple of days. But then, but everybody is at home having barbecues and everything. Cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so we had some questions here. Bruno Pinheiro, who is a very good friend of mine, said, "Tem tradução?" And said, "Bruno, in very good Portuguese, toma vergonha na sua cara." All right? You speak English. I met Bruno when we were in San Diego in a marketing event 5 years ago. We had a blast, and he speaks French, he speaks English. He's just messing around with us. Okay, people, any questions for Rennie? Yes, let's see. Did I still have an accent? I don't want to ever lose it. Yes, Elaine. Yes. Okay, okay, give a message here, okay, in Portuguese now. Se você tá aqui por causa da Rennie, você não me conhece ainda, eu quero te dar um presente, ok? São 2 passos para seguir. Você vai me seguir de volta, ok? E eu vou te mandar um DM com o link para o meu e-book Fluente para Sempre. São 18 dicas em português bonitinho para você estudar em casa hoje. É de graça, eu não quero teu e-mail, não quero teu WhatsApp, vou te dar o livro PDF que você vai fazer lá. Então é o seguinte, você me segue, manda um DM para mim. Olha, eu tava na tua live lá, gostei, eu te mando o e-book. So back to English now.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Eu não quero seu e-mail, eu não quero seu... Very good. Awesome.
Não. Ah, isso dá um e-mail. Não, tá aqui o e-book para você. Yes. Okay, Rennie, I would like very much to be in your next live. Yes, Rennie. Rennie mentioned that she bought some new equipment. I did too. About some very good lighting now, a good camera, because it was crappy, you know, my cell phone was horrible, you know, it would heat up and it would like jam, it would be horrible. So, seja leve, minha vida, thank you so much.
So you have to be, guys, you have to be careful because I'm a stalker. I know all my followers, you know. Since I have very good memory, you have to be careful with what kind of information you share with me because I tend to remember. So my memory cells are very active.
Yes, so are mine. So are mine. Well, I talk to my followers too, you know. Yeah, I know everybody who goes, oh, okay, this is this person. There's people who are there say, oh, this guy's always seen my stories, and we thank you for this, people. We thank you. We like that you do that for us. Raquel, thank you so much. Okay, so we're going to finish in 5 minutes. So if you have a question for Rennie, ask right now, or just hold your peace forever. Yes, we are in the jury right now. Okay, people, questions for Rennie? Yes. People just want you to say hello to them. Just go and do that, please.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, there.
So my followers know that I'm not a multitasker. I don't know, like I'm the kind of person who is unable to do multiple things at the same time. Like it's incredible. I can't, like right now I'm trying to read the comments and my screen just got a little dark. I might be running out of battery, but it's like, or my phone is just taking a nap. Dying maybe. Yeah. So yeah, so I don't know why it happens to my brain. Like why I don't know why I can't do 2 things at the same time or 3 things at the same time. I just disconnect, you know, like I can concentrate. Look, so I'm the kind of person who, if I'm studying, I can't listen to music, can't have any music background. Or if you talk to me and if you don't say Rennie first, I'm always like, what did you say? What did you say? I space out. It's incredible. Like I can't read comments and talk to you at the same time because I tend to lose my train of thought. But I can see there's a question here. The last one that appears on my screen is like to reach fluency.
Yes.
Like everybody they want to know about my wedding.
Yes. Have you chosen the colors?
I'm still picking things up. So I'll let you know, guys. I'll keep you posted. So about fluency, what I think that people don't understand sometimes is that it's a long-term investment. So you don't reach fluency overnight. It takes a long time for you to not only remember the structures, you have to be exposed to the same structures many times so as to retain that new information. So we have to remember that it took us like what, a year, 2 to start babbling,
Yeah.
and then like to say words. I don't know, I can't even remember, but kids start saying words what after 10 months. So it takes them at least 10 months, like kids, at least 10 months to pronounce words, to say sounds, to utter sounds.
Yeah.
So, you know, and even when you talk, if you talk to a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, you'll see that they don't know how to express themselves properly.
Yeah.
They confuse words, and they don't know how to distinguish reality and fantasy. So, and that's a natural process.
I'm
Can you hear
back.
me? Can you see me?
Yes, I'm back. I'm sorry. Yes.
I missed you. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
You're back. So, and when you're an adult and you're learning English as a second language, or whatever language you're learning, it's even worse because you're not in the acquisition, linguistic acquisition phase. So your brain is not ready to receive information for the input. So it's even more challenging for an adult to learn new sounds, new phonemes, and not. And it's a long process because it's not only to know. It's not only to acknowledge something. Oh, now I know that something exists. Now I know that schwa exists. Now I know that this contraction exists, you know. But there is a huge gap between knowing that something exists and being able to actually produce that, to reach output, you know. And
Yes, it takes time.
yeah, it takes a long time and a lot of perseverance, you know.
Yeah, I actually get really, really mad when I see in those Facebook groups, something like that. I'll teach you how to speak English and Spanish in 24 lessons. And I was like, what is wrong with those people? You know, and it's 68 reais and they promise with just one book. You'll be fluent in English with just one book. Just stop paying for schools and teachers. They don't know anything. So that's absurd. That's absurd. And to reach fluency, you need to speak. You know, you need to listen and to read like a lot. It's not just like a lot. You immerse yourself and then you say, hey, there's a lot to. I've been a teacher for 28 years, okay? Long time.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I marvel myself at how much I learn every single day about culture, about language, about grammar. Every class I give, every book I read, and it's every single day there's something new. And language is a changing process. You know, it's never fixed. So it's very interesting because we as teachers, we are always learning. Yeah, we're always learning. And
Not all
students,
teachers, though.
okay, we are touching we're touching on a subject that yes, but we need to. Okay, I am a learner. You know, I'm a learner, and then I'm very curious about things. Not only linguistic things, but also psychology, sociology, philosophical things. I read a lot, and so I'm always trying to be a better Adir today than I was yesterday. You know, we all need to go and accept the fact that we are always in need of change. You know, because the world is changing really fast. So, Jana, Francisco, mademoiselle, sois le bienvenu, ma chérie. Sois le bienvenu. Maravilha. All right, yeah. So this is. Oh, je t'aime beaucoup, si. Je t'aime beaucoup, si. I love you so much. Yeah,
Voulez-vous coucher
I
avec moi ce soir?
Yeah. Oh, what if people say yes? We're gonna have a problem with that. Yeah, someone's not gonna like it. Okay, people, one last question for Rennie, and then I'll just let her go. It's like midnight in England now.
No, it's fine. I'm,
I know.
I'm
I'm just
not in a
messing around.
hurry. I've got time. Don't worry, I'm not in a hurry.
Cool. Okay. All right, people. Just ask her question. She's here. She's here for you. Yes. And if you like it, just press on that heart thing. I want to see an explosion of hearts there. You know? Yeah. Yes. So Instagram knows that you are enjoying it. You ungrateful followers. Come on, just do that for once for us. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I like that.
And I have a question for you.
Yes.
So how did you learn English? Tell me your story.
Oh, well, the story is my first contact with English was in 1985. Okay, yes, I'm very, very old. And
You don't look your age.
I really don't.
That's a good
Very good
compliment.
genetics.
So don't
Very
get
good
offended.
genetics. No, no, I am 45 now. Okay, yeah, 45. Yes, and I look this good. I know, I know. All right, yeah, very good genetics and
Well
some
preserved.
filters help us a lot too. You know. Oh, and water, lots of water. Yes,
And
water.
sunscreen.
Yeah. So I was 10 in 85, and there came that song "We Are the World," and I remember that I got the lyrics with the translation, you know, and I had okay. So it started. There comes a time. I was like, oh my God, what is that? Chega uma hora, and then I was like, mas chega is not arrive. So I got as a present from a priest that was friends with my family. A collection of dictionaries, very old dictionaries, and my first English course I was 11, and it was 4 long plays, okay, those old vinyl things, and 2 books. So I started reading and learning, you know, like I was obsessed with that. I was totally obsessed with that. So I remember that I got into my first English course when I was 14, and I took a placement test. I went to level 3, you know, and then I took another one. After 6 months, I went to level 6. By then, I was already 15, and when I was 17, I was invited to teach at a wizard, okay, really school, okay, no, right, yeah, so that's where it started. And so when I was 18, I got into college. I took letras too, you know, and I worked from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. and I went to college at night. You know, it was very stressful, very hard, but then those 4 years were really decisive because I had to study a lot. I was a really arrogant learner. I thought I knew everything. And then you have to stop, to sit your ass and say, study because you need to teach this. And then I went to learn grammar, like real deep-seated grammar. And I've been doing this since 1992.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
No Google, no internet.
Wow. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
there. I know it's hard to work to work long hours nonstop, and especially with something that is so it's so challenging, because like people don't know the pressure that we feel under pressure, because when you're a teacher, you're in a position of a leader. It's like a leader, you know, it's like leadership. Most teachers have leadership skills, you know, and that's why they become teachers, because they want to help others, and they want to show others what to do to reach success, to reach fluency. They want to share things with others, you know. So and also like society, like not everyone, but like most people believe that teachers are supposed to know everything, to have all the answers, and that's a lot of pressure for all of us, because like we like oftentimes we have to say like, hey, I don't know the answer, but I'll look it up. And like people don't accept that, if you say that you don't know something, people will look at you and think that, well, he's not good enough, because he don't know that, he doesn't know that he's not good enough, he doesn't have this answer. So it's very unfair, and it's a lot of pressure for most teachers, you know. And like students, some people are unkind, you know, and that's because they don't have a pure heart, and they do it, you know, and they do it for no reason. They just do it. They challenge teachers for no reason. They just want them to feel like you don't have a competition. Like, people have to understand that it's not a competition. Teaching and learning is a beautiful process. There shouldn't be any competition. It's teamwork, you know, it's teamwork. So I've been there, and I know it's really challenging, you know. And I was so young, like you, when I started teaching, and so much pressure. And I felt like, you know, I don't know why I'm doing this, you know, like, I don't know why, you know, I'm not supposed to know everything. I don't have all the answers. Nobody does. But
Yes.
when you're a teacher, people believe you should have all the answers. That's what they expect from you. And that's too heavy. It's a heavy package, you know. We don't want to carry that.
Yeah, you know, and thinking about that, I just remember something that I've learned in the school of hard knocks, as we say, that what other people think of us, it's their problem, it's not ours, you know. So okay, so I don't know that. I had a student a long time ago who was a very hard-ass Catholic believer, and so he brought me a list with church objects. I don't even know those in Portuguese. It says, hey, what are these in English? And it says, I have no idea. How come you don't know that? I said, I don't even know what those are in Portuguese. What are you talking about? So people say, hey, what is Holdana? I had to look it up. You know, I had to look it up. Yeah, okay, so it's something like, yeah. I don't know tools, you know. I don't work with tools. I don't know torno. I don't know those things, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, like car parts too, like
Yes.
like things
Like,
that vocabulary you're not familiar with. Not even in Portuguese. Like, you don't know how to say that in Portuguese, let alone in English.
Yeah, let me tell you something. My car had a problem a couple of months ago, and it's something to do with something called chicote, which is a bunch of wire, you know? A bunch. I had never heard what chicote is. A whip. For me, chicote is a whip. And I was like, what is, you don't know what a chicote is? I says, am I supposed to? No, I'm not. So people say, well, you don't know. I'm not a mechanic, you know? I don't deal with that. It's just ridiculous. Well, okay, I don't know that. So I asked a lawyer the difference between calúnia, difamação, like that. Okay, so he explained that in Portuguese. In English, there's only one word for the three of them. Okay, so it's like, okay, so yeah, there's slander and libel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, slander and libel. Okay, so but the law is different.
Mm-hmm.
You know, okay, so there is there is not a direct correspondence, and we need to deal with that. Hey, so if you say, blimey, okay,
I feel you, I know. Yeah, I know. I've been there. I used to teach legal terms like lawyers. I used to teach English for lawyers, ESP, English for specific purposes. Yeah. And I remember spending hours studying the differences between common law and civil law to understand, like, how do you explain what a jury is? Or how do you explain, like, things that, penalties, like death penalties, things that we don't have in Brazil. But you know, like, it depends on the country. Like, sometimes I say, like, how do I say this in English? But then it's like, it depends on many different factors. It depends on the law. It depends on, like, even here, when I'm trying to understand legal, like labor laws, which is very important for me and for my company, you know, I'm trying to understand more of labor laws and how things work in the UK. So every now and then I have to try to compare, like, how does it work in Brazil? Like, for example, if you have a contract here, you have like I'll give you an example of like real estate, right? Like the flat we're renting right now. So we're renting a flat now, and for example, if we want to break the contract now, we're gonna have to we're gonna have to cover all the months, all the rent. And in Brazil, it doesn't happen. For instance, like in Brazil, if you break a contract, then you might have like to pay a fine or something for breaking the contract, but you don't have to cover all of that. In Brazil, our laws are very protective. So there are lots of differences, you know. So if you say like, how do you say this in English? This thing might not exist in the other culture. Maybe the law is completely different and they don't have that system the same way. So a lot of people ask me, I get a lot of questions about like very specific things. And sometimes I don't know how to answer them. And I say like, hey, I have to research because I don't know if this exists in the UK. So yeah, so I'm learning a lot about laws now, but it's a long process, you know. It's everything is so new to me. I don't know much about it right now, you know. So I have to compare the systems. I have to compare the countries, you know. And also like when I'm like applying for a visa, it has been like a school, you know, so many lessons, so many details, you know. I'll give you one example. I have something to share. I have a CPE certificate, and we hired a lawyer to take care of the case, to take care of this lawsuit, because we didn't want to make any mistakes and we didn't want to fumble. So we decided to hire an attorney. They call it solicitor, attorney's solicitor in the UK. So we hired an immigration lawyer, and he advised us not to send my CPE certificate, because he said that is not, it's like, you know, checks, like you have to check the list, you know, like they call here, they say tick. It's like, it's a tick in the box. It's a tick in the box. In American English, we say check. It's check in the box. So you just have to check the list. So on the list, it said the government list for the application. It says you need to send proof that your level of English is A1, and these are the certificates that we accept, which were CELT, the one I took is CELT or IELTS. And then, okay, right, A1, IELTS or CELT. Okay, so we talked to the immigration lawyer, and he said, we're not gonna send the CPE certificate. Oh, but CPE certificate is level C2. That doesn't make any sense. So why can't I send my C2 level if I have to prove that my level is A1? That's insane. And then he said, well, it's an exercise of ticking the box. So if you send your C2 certificate, they might deny. So you might have it, so what do you say? Like, yeah, denied. They might deny your access. So then he said, you know what? You better take this test. You better send the A1 certificate just to be on the safe side. Just do it. So, and that's what I did. I took the A1 level CELT test, which was kind of, it was like nerve-wracking because of all the like they search your stuff, they search your bag, your pockets, you know. It's
it's very stressful.
Yeah, it's very stressful. It's a very stressful experience, you know. It was nerve-wracking, and they record your voice before you You walk into the classroom, it's crazy, but it was a good experience. Well, at least now I know how it works, and I can share the process with all my students and my followers.
Yeah.
But you see, like, laws, you can't understand these things, but it's called bureaucracy, and bureaucracy exists all over the world. If you
Yes,
think if you want to leave Brazil because of all the red tape, you're dead wrong. Because everywhere you go, you find red tape. Red tape exists everywhere. So
yeah, it always has.
yeah, so
Yeah, it always has. Yeah, so as people say, well, then I think that you learn a language, and then you also learn about the culture. You need to learn about the culture. Okay, the culture, the customs, and accepting other people's cultures is very difficult because, hey, but in Brazil, it's not. You were not in Brazil. You were learning about some other things, some other people, some other history. You know, so as we need to be humble and accept. We don't have to agree with everything. We really don't with anything or anybody in our lives, but we need to go, okay, so that's how it happens. Oh, and like the stereotypes, I hate those. Like, oh, the British people are X, or the French are very unfriendly. Come on, does every Brazilian have the same perky personality? No, they don't. Right? No, some of them are idiots. You know, like lots of them are idiots. Yeah, we know that. So, but then just go in every person is one way or the other, and we share some traits because we come from the Septiman culture. We are thought to be very festive, very okay. Some people aren't. Oh, you were Brazilian and you don't know how to samba? No. Yeah. See that? Well, I don't like feijoada. Okay, I really do, but that's an example. And that's all right. Oh, you don't? People, come on, what are you talking? I don't like soccer. Okay, I don't like soccer. So you don't like soccer? Are you a real Brazilian? Yes, I'm a countryside Brazilian. I'm a São Paulo hick. You know? Yeah. So yes, that's what happens. Well, I'm really glad that you were sharing this with us because the cultural part of it is really interesting because lots of people have this idea that life abroad or life in another city is geographically magic. You know, oh, it's just like this. You are gonna go through the same perrengues as in your city. Yeah. You're gonna go, yeah. So every city is the same, you know. Of course, if you're living in another country, there are some differences. But then, if you leave your country to escape from a miserable life, yeah, geography is not gonna help you that much sometimes. It's not gonna help you that much sometimes. Okay, Rennie, we are running out of time here. It's going to say that we have 3 minutes before they cut us off. Any last words for today's session?
thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It was so good. Amazing. Amazing. And it was a great opportunity to talk. We've never talked before, right? Like this.
No, we haven't.
In person, virtually.
Yes, in
So
person.
yeah, we've never done it, and it's been awesome. It's been awesome to be in touch with you. Thank you so much for the invitation. It was so cool.
It's a pleasure.
I'm really honored, you know. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, so am I. So am I. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, people, Rennie's leaving and I'm leaving too. So if I have a question, I have time for just one question in 2 minutes. Otherwise, Instagram is gonna cut us off. Yeah, it always does that to great conversation like this. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Oh, there's a lot of comments. Oh my God. All right, thank you for the moment. Yes, Graziele, thank you. Seja leve a minha vida. Thank you so much for being here. Lembrando que se você veio da Rennie, eu vou te dar um e-book meu, ok? Não quero seus telefones, não quero seu e-mail, não quero nada seu. Me segue e manda uma DM. Adir, eu quero o e-book da live da Rennie, que eu te mando, ó, pá, já. Ok, Rennie, thank you so very much for being here with us. Yes, I really hope you guys are right there, you know, be good, be safe, and let us know about the wedding because we're all very curious.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.